So it seems a lot of people have noticed something appears to be missing from the iiRcade store. Looks like a few of their games have suddenly disappeared. We're going to talk about that and why it's happening on this episode of Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Hey there everyone, and welcome to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button, click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video, give this one a thumbs up, and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So, over the last couple of days, some people have started to notice that a few games seem to be missing from the iiRcade store, specifically the Double Dragon games, Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you have already purchased those games, you do have access to them, but if you didn't, you're not able to buy them from the store right now. Now, some people have also noticed for some reason they seem to be missing from their cabs, but they are actually still in your games library. So if you need to re-download the game, you will have the ability to do that. Here's a quick video of my iiRcade cab just showing you that the two games that I bought, Double Dragon and Double Dragon 2, are still on there and still available. Alright, so like I said, you saw there that I own both Double Dragon and Double Dragon 2 on iiRcade. I hadn't picked up Double Dragon 3 yet, and at least for right now, it looks like I'm not going to be able to. So heading over to the iiRcade store, if I look at this right now, what I've done is scroll down to the bottom where they have the free and preloaded games, and Double Dragon is the first one. Double Dragon is one of the free games that typically comes with iiRcade. Now, if you look here, you'll notice it is nowhere to be found. All right, moving up to the search, I'm just going to do a search for the word dragon because there are several games with dragon in the title. And you see we have Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja, Dragon Breed, Dragon Master, Dragon's Lair, Dragon's Lair 2, Rise of the Dragons, Saint Dragon, and Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. But again, no Double Dragon 1, 2, or 3. So what's going on? Why are these games suddenly missing from the iiRcade store? Well, heading over to Facebook and specifically to the iiRcade community group, there was a post put up early this morning from John Wook Shin, and this is what it says regarding Double Dragon. Hello everyone, regarding Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3 specifically, the contract term has expired and we are discussing renewal. During this time, the games were pulled for new purchases only. If you have already purchased the game, they stay with you, so don't worry. They should be on your device, or you can also be downloading them at mygames/library in your online store account. Best regards, Jong. So basically what's going on here is contract and licensing negotiations. Now, this kind of thing happens all the time. We see it on consoles, we see it with PlayStation and Xbox and Switch, where they're negotiating licensing for certain games. And let's face it, you have seen in the past where games will be pulled from your favorite console. As a matter of fact, this happens in a lot of areas. Have you ever gone and tried to watch maybe your favorite TV channel only to find your cable provider, your TV provider doesn't seem to have it on their lineup anymore? Well, that's because they are probably in contract negotiations with Viacom or Disney or NBC or whoever owns those channels, because the channel owners have decided perhaps they want more money for their service, and your TV or cable provider has decided they don't want to pay it, or they don't want to have to pass the cost of it on to you, the consumer. So while they're negotiating, a lot of times those channels get pulled from your TV network. Now, most of the time these negotiations work out because both parties want to find an amicable solution. Disney wants their channels on Optimum or Verizon, and Optimum and Verizon want you to have access to them. So they usually work out a deal. My guess is the same thing is going on here, that Arc Systems or whoever it is who actually still owns the rights to Double Dragon, perhaps they want more money for them, perhaps it's just a renegotiation of a time frame for them, but odds are it's probably going to get worked out, and it's probably going to get worked out fairly soon, so I wouldn't panic on it. Now, if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, the good news is if you've already purchased the game, you'll still have access to them. If you didn't, you know, so be it. But again, these kind of things do happen all the time, and most of the time they tend to work out, so I wouldn't start panicking on it just yet. But one of the other reasons I wanted to make this video is because it brings up an interesting discussion, and one that I know we've had many times in the past. We've discussed it on our live show Game Time, and many people have brought it up in the past, and that has to do with the idea of digital versus physical media. Now, I know so many of you are collectors, and you love your physical media. You love collecting old retro games, or even new games like Tears of the Kingdom for the Switch. Most of you would love to just purchase the cart for it as opposed to downloading it digitally. And the nice thing about that is you then own it and can keep it for as long as the system runs and you're able to play it. Now, as things continue to move more and more towards digital, you know, we see Xbox and Sony making consoles that are digital media only, don't even have drives in them. This is something that's going to continue to plague us going forward as these license negotiations continue to go on. More and more companies that provide games, movies, TV shows, whatever, are looking at them more as a service than a piece of entertainment for you to purchase. And let's face it, from a company standpoint, what sounds better? You buy a game or a movie one time and you pay for it once, or you pay for it over and over again through some kind of subscription fee. You know, from a company standpoint, it just kind of makes sense. Why get money for something you bought once when you can get it over and over and over again? And that's what happens in the digital world as opposed to physical media. This is just something that, unfortunately, in the times we live on and as things move forward, is going to continue to happen. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that it's taken so long for something like this to happen with iiRcade. Now, iiRcade is still a fairly relatively new company, so they may have negotiated licensing deals for several years, and now we're starting to see them expire. This could potentially happen to other games on the system. Who knows? But again, it's not out of the ordinary. We've seen AtGames remove games because they've lost or decided not to renew licensing. It happens all the time. Arcade 1-Up. You know, people have talked about would Arcade 1-Up ever move to a multi-arcade type platform where you could purchase more games. Well, there's upsides and downsides to this. I know a lot of you would love the ability to purchase more games to add to your console. The downside is you risk losing them at some point in the future as licensing negotiations change. So when you're talking about that, keep that in mind. But guys, that's it. I just wanted to throw a quick video out there. I wanted to talk about what was going on with iiRcade and Double Dragon so you guys understand the situation and maybe just get the conversation flowing again on this idea of physical versus digital, what you guys think about that, you know, what you guys think of this move going forward for so many companies that are moving in that direction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and that's pretty much going to do it for this one. Hope to see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.